I need you to think about the version of you who is reaching her goals. Whatever those goals are, whether that's losing weight, starting that business, creating the content, going back to school, getting promoted, whatever it is, think about that version of you who is actually reaching her goals. What would she be doing right now? What would she be doing in this very moment? What would her day look like? What kind of habits would she have? What kind of conversations would she have with the people closest to her? Would these conversations be more gossip like and negative, self pity type conversations? Or would these be more goal oriented conversations, productive conversations? What would you be doing if you were already her? For those of you guys who are new to the channel, hello, my name is Jasmine and I'm so glad to have you. And in this video, I want you to realize that in order for you to change your life, that's going to require you to change who you are. See, I know this may be hard to digest, and this was hard for me too. We attract what we are, okay? A lot of times we're confused as to why we haven't accomplished X, Y, and Z yet. We're scratching our head. We just can't figure it out. Why are we not getting views? Why are we not making the money we want to make? Why are we not losing the weight that we want to lose? But more often than not, it's because you haven't become the version of yourself that you must become in order to get those things done. See, you want to lose weight, but you don't want to stop going to Chick-fil-A. You want to lose weight, but you won't even go on a 60-minute walk. You want to start a business, but you won't stop scrolling Instagram. You want to create content, but you care too much about what people think of you. You want to have financial freedom, but you keep charging up Afterpay and Klarna. Yeah, let's talk about it. There are things about you that's holding you back. You're exactly where you're supposed to be because you are the person who attracts those things. And I know that sucks to hear. It was hard for me to accept that too. You guys, I'm nothing like who I used to be. Not even close. Not even close. Believe it or not, there was a version of me that was extremely insecure. I was extremely inconsistent. I was miserable. I was depressed. I had bad anxiety. I was an alcoholic. I was 340 pounds. 340 pounds. I am 6'3", by the way. I'm a very tall woman, but I was still extremely big. I was obese. And I'm sitting here scratching my head trying to figure out why I hate my life. Well, look at the habits that I had. It's obvious. Who can enjoy their life when they're always drunk? Who can enjoy their life when they're carrying 100 pounds of excess weight? That's a lot. Who can enjoy their life when they're insecure and worrying about what people think and need an external validation to feel good about self? It makes sense as to why I felt the way I felt because look at my habits and the things that I was doing every day. How could I achieve success when I can't stop drinking? How can I lose weight when I won't stop binge eating? How can I become confident in myself if I keep giving up on myself and telling myself what I can't do and what I'm not good at? It doesn't even make sense. I was exactly what I was attracting. The reason why I was miserable is because I had miserable habits. Who can be happy when they're trying to self-soothe with external things? You attract what you are. And sometimes we have so much ego that we don't want to look at the bad habits and routines that we have and acknowledge the fact that we're exactly where we're supposed to be because of the things that we decide to do on a day-to-day basis. If you want to be that version of you that's running that successful business, you can't become that version if you keep putting things off. Go ahead and continue to put it off. Go ahead and wait for 20 more Mondays to come and go before you decide to start. Go ahead and keep putting that weight loss off. How about you gain 75 more pounds and then you can start 10 Mondays after that? Go ahead. How about you keep journaling about the content you want to create and then maybe in 2028 you can pick up your phone and actually hit record. Go ahead. But just know you will not get the things that you want until you become the version of yourself that you must become in order to attract those things. And you can put it off all you want. Just know that you will continue to delay the things that you want. because there will never be a right moment. You will never know everything. It'll never be perfect. And there will always be fear inside of you. Those things will never go away. Things will not change for you until you change. Things will not change for you until you change. And a lot of times when we are doing the things that we're doing, it's because we're escaping. And we're escaping because there's things about our life that we're not 1000% happy with. And instead of us just being grown women and fixing those things, we choose to run from them. But let me ask you, how is that going? You ran away from it yet? Or do you still wake up with the same problems? See, I was trying to escape by drinking because I was miserable. I was trying to escape by binge eating because I was miserable. But after the drunk wore off, after the high of binge eating wore off, I still felt the same way that I felt before I did those things. It didn't change anything. It didn't fix any of my problems. How did I fix my problems? I carried my ass to counseling. So many of you guys think that if you watch YouTube videos, you're healing. No, you're just wasting time, because half of the YouTube videos that you watch, you're not even going to implement the things that you watched. This is just more escapism. This is just more escapism, because the algorithm is going to feed you what you want to hear. Not what you need to hear, but what you want to hear. It's going to feed you more of that. So if you're trying to heal from a toxic, narcissistic relationship, it's just going to feed you more content on toxic narcissism. But it's not going to feed you information on how you got in that situation in the first place. Because you're insecure, because you can't sit with self, because you don't work on your goals and you put everyone before you. That's how you got there. But you're not going to hear that through the YouTube videos that you watch. You're just going to hear the YouTube videos that's telling you it's not your fault and it's okay, it happens to everyone, and yeah, they're a horrible person. No, you're going to hear the truth in counseling. And the truth is, a lot of times we put ourselves in the problems that we have. We put ourselves right into them. Because if you had boundaries, you would have never ended up in a narcissistic relationship in the first place. Trust me, been there, done that. If you knew how to stand up for yourself, if you felt highly of yourself, you would have cut them off before it even got that deep in the first place, because the signs are always there. We just choose to ignore them because we want to see the benefit in people. We want to see the benefit of the doubt in people. Oh, they didn't mean it. No, they meant it. You just don't have any boundaries. We attract what we are. The version of you who's running her business is not making excuses as to why she'll start next week. The version of you that's in your healthy body is not putting off going to the gym. She's getting her steps in. She's lifting her weights. She's eating her healthy foods, her fruits and vegetables. She's not at McDonald's. The version of you that is a successful content creator isn't sitting around all day watching content. She's creating it. And you have to start moving accordingly. The things that you're using to escape don't fix the problem. If anything, they just amplify it. One thing I noticed when I would drink, it just amplified whatever mood I was in. It never fixed it. Okay, so if I was feeling depressed before I started drinking, I was even more depressed during being drunk. If I was angry before I started drinking, I just became even angrier while I was drunk. Never fixed the problem. It just puts a Band-Aid over it for a couple of hours. And then you feel even worse about yourself because you promised yourself you weren't going to do it again, and then here you are again doing it again. And that was with anything. Binge eating, smoking weed, all of it. You put yourself in this constant loop and you never get anywhere because you refuse to change who you are. You guys, I think all of us have a little crazy in us. There's nothing wrong with going to counseling. I don't know why your ego is so inflated, but it's not doing anything for you. Go to counseling, do the inner work, heal. Heal. Just heal. But that's what you're avoiding, because if you actually go to counseling and you heal, well, then you have to actually do the work. You don't want to do the work. You rather escape. So again, you'll watch countless YouTube videos on X, Y, and Z, but you don't actually do the thing. I am not a counselor. Nobody on here is a counselor. They're not listening to you. They can't hear you and dissect what you're going through. You need to go to counseling. You need to heal. And then you have to do the work that they tell you to do. That's how all of this started for me. It started through counseling. I made a phone call. I scheduled an appointment and I went. I was open. I was vulnerable. I was receptive. And I did the work. And yeah, it was uncomfortable. Being told what was wrong with me, that's uncomfortable. Because I used to be the woman that thought there was nothing wrong with me. You couldn't tell me shit. In my 20s, oh, girl, I was perfect, okay? I was never the problem. That's the type of ego I had. And that didn't get me anywhere. Being told that I'm the reason why is extremely uncomfortable. But that's where the growth takes place. Growth doesn't take place in comfort. You have to sit with self, and then you have to fix self. And unfortunately, that's what so many people don't want to do because it's uncomfortable. But that's the only thing that's going to make you a higher version of you. And the longer you put that off, the longer you delay the life that you say you want. Listen, I love YouTube. I love YouTube. I have creators that I love to watch. But at the end of the day, they're not counselors. And I've never had a conversation with them. They can't heal me. I have to heal me. Which means I have to do the work. Whatever was going on, you have to heal. One of the things that I realized I was dealing with was the death of my grandma. I didn't realize that a lot of the drinking that I was doing back then was because I didn't want to sit with the fact that my grandma was no longer here. And she played a major role in my life. You know, I thought I was over it as you could be, right? Losing someone close to you. But I was just escaping by drinking. And I didn't even realize it. I thought I was drinking more so because I hated my job, which played a huge part in it too. But I was escaping because I didn't want to sit with the fact that she was really gone and she was never coming back. I didn't want to sit with that. So I would drink to avoid those feelings. But I only realized that, I only learned that about myself through counseling. I thought I was over it, but I wasn't. A YouTube video wasn't going to tell me that. You have to become the version of you that you must become in order to attract the things that you've always wanted. I never used to have boundaries. Never had boundaries. I used to let people walk all over me. And that's why I ended up in toxic relationships. That's why I dealt with narcissistic people. Because time and time again, I would give them the benefit of the doubt. And I used to play the victim Olympics too. Why is this always happening to me? Why do toxic people like me? Why do they treat me like this? I had to do the inner work and realize I allow them to. I allow people to walk all over me. I don't have a backbone. That's just human nature. People are going to walk over who they can. That's just human nature. Think about a job. You know who you can talk shit to and who you can't. People know. People know who they can get away with stuff from. Kids know it too. I knew that I could get away with more stuff with my mom than with my grandma. If I wanted to go somewhere, I knew who to ask. I knew who was more likely to say yes and who was more likely to say no. We know this. This is human nature. So it made sense as to why I found myself in toxic relationships all the time, because I didn't have a backbone. I let people do whatever they want, and then I would forgive. Benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt, benefit of the doubt. They didn't mean it. Oh, yes, they did. And that's why I was in those friendships. We attract what we are. And that's the uncomfortable truth, but it's the truth that'll set you free. If you want better, you have to become better. in order to become better, you're going to have to change, because who you are today does not align with the version of you that is reaching the goals that you've always wanted to reach. And that's the truth. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you guys have to say. Also, make sure you guys join the Patreon. The link is down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.